The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Today's one of the darkest days in Vancouver Canucks history. That being said, the last 10 years have been the darkest days of Vancouver Canucks history. So, yeah.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about the Vancouver Canucks. This time without Quinn Hughes. My name's Kyle Bowen. Welcome to Locked On Canucks. One love to the Don't Doze Art Lab for giving you the West Coast bias. And yeah, Quinn Hughes got traded to the Minnesota Wild for a 2026 first-round pick. Marco Rossi. We didn't trade Ratu and Archer Silovs and Braden Coots for Marco Rossi, but we traded Quinn Hughes for Marco Rossi. We also got who? Zeev, Buium. Again, you guys know the deal. If you're new to Locked On Canucks, then you don't know the deal, but I just started reading like 7 years ago, okay? So, yeah. Zeev Buium, that guy, a good two-way defenseman, I guess, offensive skill. Seeing the highlights, seeing what he's done this year. Good player, right? And we also got Liam Öhgren, right? So we got 3 former first-round picks and a new first-round pick coming up in 2026. Speaking of Liam Öhgren, okay? I think he was like the 19th overall pick years and years and years ago, okay? Liam Öhgren is a left winger. He's played 17 games this year. And someone guess in the comments right now, guess how many points Liam Öhgren has in 17 games. Zero, exactly. So, my thing is like, yo, why didn't Rutherford and Alvin be like, dude, we don't want Liam Öhgren. Can we get like an extra first-round pick and an extra second-round pick? You know what I'm trying to say? Because that to me screams Lucas Reichel. Does it not? It reeks Linden Veg, Sven Berchi. We kept saying, instead of asking for younger guys who may not pan out, just go get an extra first-round pick. Right? Because the Zane, how do you say his name? Zane Buium? NHL proven. Say what you want about Marco Rossi. You know, he's done his thing in the NHL so far, to some extent. Liam Öhgren, though, 0 points in 17 games. You look at the stats, Liam Öhgren looks like Lucas Reichel. Looks like, again, Linden Bay, Sven Berchi, etc. Emerson Edom. And I'm sorry to poo-poo on the guy, but he's got to pan out. Why? Because we just traded the greatest Canuck of all time. Now, before we get more into player analysis, right? Because, again, Trevor Beggs is not with me. He knows all about these guys. I barely do. Okay? Zeev Buium. Liam Öhgren, Marco Rossi, and a 2026 first-round pick. Before we dive deeper into that, let's just, again, and get the comments going here, okay? Just for the first part of the show, let's just give Quinn Hughes his flowers, okay? At the end, we'll quote-unquote bitch and complain, right? But right now, let's give him his flowers, because even through dark times, even through, never winning with Quinn Hughes in the lineup outside of COVID and outside of 2023, 2024, right? Even though we never won outside those 2 years, Quinn Hughes was must-see. Must-see. All the time. And I've been ridiculing his game off the ice in recent history, right? Not acting like the best captain. But on the ice, that guy gave a shit every game. Shift in and shift out. Tried his hardest. There's a reason why he was averaging 30 minutes a game this year. There's a reason why he was averaging close to that last year as well, because he knew his team sucked and he wanted to win that back. He played through injury after injury after injury after injury. And he played a lot of minutes. and the stuff he was doing with the puck. Again, can we run Canucks cytology again just to go through the stat? Okay, this stat comes from Sports Logic, okay? Quinn Hughes, his puck possession stats, he's a leader, right? Holding on to the puck for 4 minutes a game. Next closest is 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Next closest after that is Matthew Schaefer at 2:41. The first one was Lane Hudson. Next up after Matthew Schaefer, Cale Makar at 2:40, and then Jake Sanderson at 2:35. Quinn Hughes is at 4 minutes, always with the puck on his stick, and you can call him a puck hog, you can say this or that, but again, his team sucked. And he wanted to win that badly, and he knew he had to do it all. It was like beer league for him. But, again, his competitive nature was like, no matter what, I'm winning this. Just give me the puck. I'm doing whatever it takes to win. And players after player after player after player on the other team always struggled to get the puck from that guy. Just so damn good. So elite, an outlier. That's why he was compared to, the Cale Makars and the Bobby Orrs of the world. So Minnesota, you're lucky. You're getting a competitor, and again, one of the most talented players I have ever seen in my life. Again, must-see TV. And we mentioned this, yesterday, like there still is a reason to go to Canucks games right now, especially if they're like $50, because you get to watch one of the best athletes in North America do his thing, and Quinn Hughes is one of those guys. So thank you for that. Because to me, that takes a lot of dedication and work. That takes a lot of will. And he did that for us. If Quinn Hughes had a slightly better team around him, this team's probably in a playoff spot. That's how damn good Quinn Hughes is. Since he got here, was it the game against LA? I think he picked up a point on the overtime goal, right? Doing whatever he was doing behind the net, just making the game look so easy. From that point on, we knew. We finally had one. We finally had a number one defenseman, but the irony behind that is like when we finally got him, he was going to be amongst the best defensemen of all time when it's all said and done. 4 years ago, we were already having the conversations, like 20 years from now, we're going to be around a campfire. And when we're talking about the top 10 defensemen in NHL history, Quinn Hughes is going to be on like 85% of those lists from those individuals who want to talk puck. Compared this guy to Scott Niedermayer too. But again, his name's up there with record after record, being not just compared with Alex Edler, but Bobby Orr. And again, I just have to give him his flowers because I'm about to talk some smack in like 20 plus minutes. It is what it is because I'm emotional. It just seems like the end of an era. And, he's got to be a little accountable too for this team never winning games over the last 7 years. It is what it is. Also didn't like the way he was conducting himself over the last couple weeks. Anyways, even though I'm going to do that in 20 minutes, I was doing it in prior episodes and, that left little room to just praise him like we just did for 4 minutes. And that's again, giving him his due. Just what a player, what a treat to watch. And, if you think about it, this way, like a lot of times this year when I was watching games and just knowing this team just didn't have it. They have one of the worst coaches in hockey. No structure, no gas, no fight, no energy. There's no camaraderie on this team, right? You knew they were going to lose most of these games. It was still a treat to just, again, turn on the TV, turn on the stupid Sportsnet Plus, and watch Quinn Hughes do his thing, even in a quote-unquote off year where he has like 23 points in 26 games or 22 and 25, whatever the number is. Even in an off year, just watching that guy play is a treat. And he's going to do great things in Minnesota. Him and Kaprizov are going to have a lot of fun. Minnesota gave us some depth here. I know Marco Rossi's hurt. But again, a big part of their team. Zane Buium, is that how you say his name? Big part of that team. But again, you get Quinn Hughes, an ultra competitor, a guy that gives it his all on the ice. In the state of hockey, a place that cares. kudos to him. Kudos to the Minnesota Wild, too. Kudos to Bill Guerin. This is the big balls move. Bill Guerin, not one of my favorites, too, because, I got emotional last year. Four Nations Championship. This guy's calling Donald Trump to pump up the boys, talking ish about Canada. And it's like, dude, without Canada, Bill Guerin doesn't have a job. Right? Who made hockey what it is? So, again, I took some offense to some of the things he was saying. Not the biggest fan of him. But, man, this is a big boy move. You just signed Kirill Kaprizov to that monster deal to keep him around. And now you're doing this. And that's acquiring someone who's been compared to Bobby Orr at times based on his numbers in Cale Makar. That's incredible. Like, good for you. And because they didn't give up their 2027 first-round pick, right? They could make things happen still. Right? I'm not sure how much more talented that team is than a Vancouver Canucks roster when fully healthy and with a good coach. But, they could still make some things happen. And, Kaprizov, he's Kaprizov. Kaprizov and Hughes going to be a lot of fun. And Boldy. The state of hockey, I feel like Canucks fans, and this was part of the reason why I kind of wanted him to get traded to Washington. It felt as if, there'd be a relationship there for us to have, right? By the way, I see the comments. Mother Knucker, can you join the stream if I send the stream into the Discord? We got to hear from you. Well, where was I going from that? Oh yeah, a part of the reason why I wanted Quinn Hughes to go to Washington was for the reason that we could still all watch him. Washington play with Öhgren, kind of cheer him on. I don't know if we could do that with Minnesota. A, they're in the conference, most importantly, and that's some weak stuff if you're cheering for Minnesota. And B, Puck Minnesota. They scarred me, right? Back in 2003, West Walls, right? Marion Gabrick, Manny Fernandez, Dwayne Rollison. You know what I'm saying? Like, Puck Minnesota. So we can't do that. The relationship just ended with Quinn Hughes, right? Let me know in the comments. You're not really gonna. You might be nice to him, but you're not going out of your way to watch him play. You're not. But if he was with Öhgren, we would. Anyways, before we get to break, let's get to some comments. Okay, Duolingo saying, wow, Kyle called it. If you missed it yesterday, I called it. Probably the only one to say it. Why? Because, I'm a Findu. We got powers. I read Deepak Chopra. I can see the future. And most importantly, Quinn Hughes told us he was leaving last night. Right? A, he can't handle the noise. It's affecting him. And, dude, after the game ended, what did this guy do? He posted a photo on his Instagram story of him looking swagged out. Obviously, signaling to the people of the city, I'm going out tonight. It's my last night in Vancouver. Who's coming? And I read the tea leaves, and I saw the body language, and I see how he was talking about himself more than the Vancouver Canucks, even though he was the captain, week after week after week, and more specifically this week, day after day after day after day. And the writing was on the wall. Like, I thought he was going to join the Illuminati and the New Jersey Devil ASAP, but yeah. Yesterday was his last game as a Canuck, and it's so poetic, right? It's so poetic. We lose to the Buffalo Sabres, hit rock bottom, lose to our cousins. Now we're the biggest losers in the family, and we just lost the greatest player in Canucks history. Anywho, on the other side, what we're going to do is I'm just going to read Twitter and Reddit about the guys that we just got for Quinn Hughes. We traded Quinn Hughes to the Minnesota Wild for Liam Öhgren. 0 points in 17 games. Marco Rossi, once a guy that we almost gave up Archer Shilov's a first-round pick and Atu Ratu for. But we had to give up Quinn Hughes to get Marco Rossi. And we also got Zane Buium. Is that how you say it? Again, good player. Based from what I've seen in like the little Minnesota Wild hockey that I've seen this year, he's a good player. He's a good player. Like, there's something there to build on. For real. So yeah, we'll get to all that on the other side. Again, you're listening and watching Locked On Canucks. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, Trevor's favorite game, a game that he likes to play with his daughter. allegedly, okay? And the NFL season is it's kind of wrapping up. It's kind of sad, right? Because once that's all over, even if the Packers win the Super Bowl and play till February, I still got to watch the Quinn Hughes list Vancouver Canucks for forever, right? For like a couple more months and just again the rest of my life. We're stuck with this team. It's a toxic relationship that they'll just never end. The love is crazy. Anyways, the NFL season about to end. You might as well get on the action, even if you don't have a team, right? And if you do so responsibly, you can use FanDuel to have some skin in the game, and just feel something in your stomach when you're sitting on that Sunday afternoon watching games. That again, now you have a stake in. And FanDuel is just like immediate, okay? Boom, bam, a turnover happens, the spread changes, right? A receiver gets hot, the spread changes. Even if a defense is doing its thing with the live betting feature, the things are always changing. The numbers are always changing. It's always, again, boom, bam, make a bet. It's like you're in the game, especially if you do so responsibly, okay? So get into the middle of the action with the remainder of the season by visiting FanDuel.com. Place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Today's episode is also brought to you by Doer Jeans. I met the people over at Doer Jeans. They do their thing. They're all scientists out there, man. That's what it feels like. I'm not going to lie. No, for real. Come on. Like, their jeans, they're best in business. Like, they're so comfortable. It's like, what's in here? It's like Iron Man, right? Iron Man invented these jeans. Go check them out. One of the people who helped run the studio said they're the most comfortable jeans in the world, okay? So do your thing. Go visit them in store in Vancouver near Kitsilano. Go search up Doer, right? Duer. And you'll get the address. And also visit doer.ca/LockedOnCanucks to get 15% off the best jeans of all time. Yo, my girlfriend said I'm not allowed to wear the jeans if I'm not around her because I'm looking thick and scientific and comfortable, okay? And nothing's more attracting than a comfortable man. What? Visit Doer. Okay, we back doing this, talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name's Kyle Bowen, and Quinn Hughes. Oh my God, Quinn Hughes, is this a dream? What? Okay, 420 just passed. What did I do? Quinn Hughes is no longer a Vancouver Canuck. How you guys feeling about that? Okay, let's get to the comments. Nucky 8860 saying, my puckin' heart, this doesn't seem real. Hey, man. I'm trying to make sense of it, too. I feel as if, again, if the Canucks got one more first-round pick, right, I'd feel excited, but I feel as if a part of this trade, too much a part of this trade is like focusing on next year, right? And to me, isn't that like counterintuitive? Because how does next year matter if you still had Quinn Hughes under contract next year and you just lost Quinn Hughes? We just told you about his numbers. Has the puck more than anyone. Right? Like an absolute dominant player. Like Marco Rossi can't check Quinn Hughes. Buium, is that how you say it? Both those guys can't check Quinn Hughes at the same time, right? That's how good Quinn Hughes is. Liam Öhgren, what are you doing? 0 points in 17 games. 0 points in 17 games. Like, is there a world where you decline this trade from Bill Guerin and you call him back tomorrow and it's like, yo, instead of giving us Liam Öhgren, your 2022 first round pick or whatever it is, that has 0 points in 17 games and is barely like a half a point of player. I don't know. He's not like a dominant AHL player too. Like, instead of giving me that guy, can you just give me an extra first round pick? That's the way I'm thinking. Minnesota, a kind of mid team, a good team, but a mid team. You aim for that 2027 first round pick instead of getting Liam Öhgren. Why? Because Minnesota might suck next year. Quinn Hughes may not sign with Minnesota. They might be a lottery team. But, if you want one of the best players in the game, a guy that's been compared to Bobby Orr, I get what I want. And I want to prioritize, the ultimate future, your 2027 first round pick also, and not a guy that has 0 points as a forward in 17 games. Anyways, we got our friend Mother Knucker on. Okay, we got our homie Mother Knucker. Join the Discord. This guy's the MVP of... I hope you become the MVP of my life right now, man. Try not to swear too much because I don't want to do too much editing and just speak from the heart. I'm not going to give you the rules. Do you, baby. Do you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. Shocked, man. I'm shocked. And, I think some people in the Discord were a little underwhelmed by the return. I honestly, me and DJ, Dan Jardine, Grandpa, Grandpa number one, I'm Grandpa number two, but even though I look, young to be, I can be an uncle, baby. But anyways, no, but we both, outside of the Öhgren, I do agree that the Öhgren probably should have been a first or a second round pick instead, with the additional first they threw in. But I really like Zeev Buium's upside. I paid a lot of attention to him when he was playing with the U.S. team, the developmental team, and he's a real solid. He played his college hockey. He played his freshman year, I believe, at Minnesota University, and if I remember correctly, he was like a top 5 D man as a freshman there with Minnesota University. And then, Rossi, I get some people are saying we could have had Rossi earlier, blah, blah, blah. Well, listen, man, obviously this regime is really, or as Donnie says, regime, they've been on Rossi's nuts for a while now. So I'm not really surprised that he was part of the return. Now, if we were to bounce it off of what we were supposedly going to get from Detroit, and desperate ass Stevie Y, I think I would have rather got that return if it would have consisted of ASP, Nate Danielson, Ethan Bear, and a first round pick. I feel like that would have really been the better return. But that being said, maybe that's not what was being offered, and maybe this is just what JR decided was the best route to go. And I just realized I have my damn earbuds in, and I don't need them. So I'm sitting here by my drum set, by the way. I'm by my drum set. I'm trauma bonding with my drone set right now.
I think you may have to sing us a song before you sign out today. Mother Knucker, please do us a favor. Can you just keep expanding your knowledge on Zane Buium? Like just talk highly of him. Let us go to sleep early tonight, or not early, but just happy tonight. And then B, talk about like why Rutherford and Alvin love Marco Rossi. Like I'm about to buy some Swiss chocolate, put it in my pipe, and smoke it just to feel this trade a little bit better. But anyways, talk about both those players even more glowingly than you already did, okay?
Yeah, man. So, so Zeev Buium, his brother is actually playing college hockey right now. And his brother's actually a pretty decent, good defensive prospect as well. But so Zeev Buium is about 6 feet tall. I believe he's about 200, 210. He's not huge, but he plays a pretty big game. He's not overtly physical, but he's definitely good enough that he could probably run. Right now, he could be on a power play too, no problem. He's pretty smooth, really good skater, good edge work. Obviously not huggy edge work, but he does have good edge work. He got a hard shot. He actually was broken in with the Wild in the playoffs. I don't know if you remember that. He literally came from college right into the playoffs with Minnesota, and he actually fared okay. I think they put him on the third pairing just to kind of ease him into it. But, what does he have? 14 points in 31 NHL games. That's not too bad, dude. That's really not too bad. And I think he's playing about 17, 18 minutes a game. That's like second pairing, dare I say, top third pairing minutes. So, it's not really bad. And he is projecting to be a top pairing defenseman. That's why the Wild drafted him where they did. I think that having him, having Willander, having DPD, Now Martini. Listen, now Martini, I think, is going to have an opportunity to come and get some ice time with us. So I'm really excited about that. But let's transition over to Rossi. Rossi isn't that big, but yes, he is a 2C. He projects to be a 2C. He's a goal scorer, so he can score. I think he has 45 goals. And so he's proven that he can score. And I know, like I said, man, there's a reason that Alvin and JR got this guy. They've obviously been wanting him for over a year now. So, you know, Öhgren, I posted in the Discord, one love to the Discord, everybody in there. I posted in the Discord that Öhgren actually, when he was being drafted, kind of projected out to be like an Arvidsson light. You know, a small but heavy winger that can, you know, play good on the forecheck and be pretty strong in front of the net. But I mean, 0 points in 30 games or something. I don't know, man. I feel you with the Reichel comparison. You kind of made my nuts. Made my nuts shrivel up into my stomach because I'm like, I can't handle any more Reichel, dog. I can't handle it.
No, I just can't handle any more. Like, oh, we could fix this first rounder. We're the Canucks. We can't fix shit. We just like do things to eat. I don't know, man. Like, that's just, again, if it comes out that like somehow, some way, the Canucks had an option of like poaching a former first round pick from the Wild named, again, Liam Öhgren, or just like get a first round pick down the road, like an extended one. If that came out that they wanted Liam Öhgren because he's played NHL games and he's NHL ready and he can help out the team now, as my Uncle Ricky said, yo, whoever's going to Canucks games moving forward this season, like, you got to throw blueberries onto the ice. Like, blueberries won't injure any players. They won't do that. It's safe. And just as a sign of puck you to Francesco Aquilini and you wanting to win now, that's why you needed Liam Öhgren. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, throw some blueberries on the ice. Please. Mother Nuck, you still there? You just blacked out. I think Mother Nucker's internet connection in Texas, right? In America. I think something happens to internet connection after 5 o'clock, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Anyways, at least he said some nice things about Zane Buium, or what's his name? Zeev Buium? Sorry. My name's Kyle Bowen. Only watched him play a couple times and was just focused on maybe Ryan Leonard, right? Maybe that guy. Maybe Cole Hudson. But yo, I just looked at Zeev Buium, right? His stats. University of Denver, 50 points in 42 games in his first season at Denver. In his second season at Denver, 48 points in 41 games, right? That's impressive, right? And this season, in his first year in the NHL, 14 points in 31 games. Pretty good. And based on the eye test, I feel as if he does have some like big time potential. Big time potential. And I wonder if him and Tom Olander are like a match made in heaven. Anyways, comments. Look at this from Cheese Dog 368. I guess a Minnesota Wild fan. You're lucky to get Zeev from us. You know who else is lucky? You're lucky to have Quinn Hughes. You're so lucky to have Quinn Hughes. And I haven't talked about this much. Kind of poo-pooed on him going to Minnesota because, there's a bit of like, not a rivalry there, but since I can't afford therapy, like the Minnesota Wild did affect the course of my life. I'd be married by now if the Minnesota Wild didn't like kick our ass in Game 7 of the round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs back in 2003. All in all, though, the state of hockey gets Quinn Hughes, like a hockey crazed market, a city that just like has hockey. I wouldn't say at the top of their sporting market, right? The Minnesota Vikings there, puck the Minnesota Vikings. But all in all, he's going to a place that really cares. That rink's always fun to just watch hockey in. And just best of luck to Quinn Hughes and Minnesota Wild fans. Yo, you're lucky, man. You're lucky. Like, show up to the rink early. Stay till the end. Even if your team's losing 5-1 going into the third period, just stay. Because Quinn Hughes can make the comeback or, again, just do things that you've never seen before. Anyways, we're gonna read a lot more comments on the other side. I can't give you the player breakdowns. I can't give you my full opinions on these players. I'm gonna be watching film all weekend. Marco Rossi, though, again, in a trade package for Atu Ratu, Archer Shilos, and Braden Coots, but can't give that up, but we can give Quinn Hughes up. I guess Zeev Buium is the Buium. You know what? Commercial break. Okay, today's episode is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Man, oh man, Monarch Money, right? I got that big financial meeting happening very soon with the love of my life. 5 years into a relationship, you do the math. You gotta start talking about your numbers, and you know what I'm gonna show her? I'm gonna show her Monarch Money. I'm gonna show her my Monarch Money app, my personal financial advisor in my pocket, and yo, baby, she's gonna be all over me. AKA, she's buying me Cactus Club after I show her my performance on Monarch Money, okay? What is Monarch Money? It's, again, your personal financial advisor in your pocket, okay? Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. For real. It's that all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, simple dashboard, right? The holiday spending category on the app can be a lifesaver, considering it is the holidays. And you're just tapping away. Tap, tap, tap. Everyone gets whatever they want, which is cool and all, but before you do that, download Monarch Money, okay? You can also check your net worth, link all your accounts, and keep track of your contributions before those tax deadlines, right? Monarch Money makes money check-in simple. What's a money check-in? Dude, download the app and find out. Come on. In your pocket, a personal trainer in the world of banking. Anyways, don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com. to get half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. People, we back doing this, talking about Quinn Hughes being traded to the Minnesota Wild. Hello, my name's Kyle Bowen, and I'm talking like an NPC right now because I wish this wasn't real life. Comments. Daniel saying the only person to blame is Quinn Hughes. He wanted out. End of story. It's sad, but he's no leader. You know what, Daniel? Do we have the round of applause button? Can we hit? Thank you, baby. Thank you. We need some of that energy because at the end of the day, Quinn Hughes wanted out. The dude had a year and a half left on his deal. A year and a half. He was named captain, 40 months ago? I can't even do math anymore. And the moment you had a chance to leave, you said, puck it, get me out of here. A year and a half still left on his deal. There's 51 games left. We keep talking about the fact how this year the NHL is mid. Apparently, all you'll need this year, based on the stats, all you'll need is 86 points to make the playoffs. Yet Quinn Hughes, with 51 games left, 31 games left into the season, being the captain of this team, the worst body language, right? Can't even speak glowingly about this team once. We beat the Minnesota Wild a couple nights ago. Goals by Atu Ratu and Tom Willander, right? He gets confronted about the Elliot Friedman trade rumors after the game, and he can't even take it a second to ignore the question, just talk about the team, and just say that he's focused on winning. That's after guys like Willander and Ratu scored goals. That's the tone you're setting in that locker room, that it's really not about the team. 31 games into the season, it's over. It's over. With a year and a half left on your deal. While Thatcher Demko's working his ass off, trying to come back again, right? This guy's got a future. Guy's got a family. Before you know it, he'll have a knee made out of a 3D printer. He's working his ass off to get back. And you, outside of the game itself, when you're in that room, you still got to play. You're the captain, but you turned it off. You checked out. With 51 games left in the season. Last year, St. Louis. Look at their last 40 games. Look at what they did post Four Nations Cup or whatever too. Like, they just went on an epic run. It makes me question, how badly do you want to win? With 51 games left in the season, as the captain, you checked out with a year and a half left on your contract. Say what you want. Oh, they didn't build a team around him. They should have gave him more support. Oh, it's not fair. Cry me a river. I want some players who want to be here. And I also want players who think they can do the impossible. You know why? A big reason why this team never worked out, this core never worked out. Miller, Horvat, Pettersson, Besser, all Demko. None of these guys believe that. When it gets noisy, when it gets doubtful, when it gets negative, there's no resilience. They want you to feel sorry for them. Country club-like atmosphere. And I get it, the city is crazy. The media likes to do its thing. They like to work a lot here, okay? But that is just not good enough from your captain, in my opinion. Like, Horvat wouldn't do that. At least say the right, at least just like bring it to the fans. It's the holiday season. Like, you can be mad at the media. You could be mad at some of the fans for just like taking this shit so seriously. But there's like a 14-year-old that's watching you because you're one of the coolest athletes ever. You're probably his favorite player of all time. And you can never even crack a smile. And again, with 51 games left in the season, you can't even strike any belief in the fan base. And I'll say this too, yo. The Canucks sucked with Quinn Hughes in the lineup year after year after year after year after year after year. So I'm telling you, I promise you, Canucks fans, it's going to get better. Speaking of Canucks fans, can we bring in a season ticket holder, okay? Okay, we got season ticket holder here, Raj from Limelight. Go check out his podcast. I'll put the link in the bio after this episode, or maybe while you go on a spiel, I'll add that in there. Raj has been, a good friend of mine for a couple of years. He's been a season ticket holder for a couple of years. And before you give your flowers out to Quinn Hughes, I just want to say, are you renewing your season tickets for next year, Raj?
It's not looking good. It's not looking good, bro. I'm like, if I do it, it's like fool me once, fool me twice.
Yeah.
I'm the idiot if I renew these season tickets, bro. So I don't know. I don't know about how I feel about that. There is like an emotional attachment now that I feel like I'm in the in club, whatever. It all feels good and everything. But honestly, it's not really worth it with the current situation. But actually, last night I went to the game. It was supposed to be the Christmas game. I was supposed to go see Santa. I was going to be getting photos with Santa. No issues. I was excited about it. I've seen Santa twice in the last 2 years. Each year, he's been there. And this year, I was like, I got to do street interviews. I got to interview the fans.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got to get a picture with Santa. And, dude, Santa was too busy. Even Santa wasn't committed like he's been the last 2 years. Santa sat in his section. He stayed there between the game, between the intermission. He was there. I went and you know what? Me and my girlfriend, we left early to go get a photo in the line, get in the lineup where Santa's section is. Santa's section was, I think, 320 or 123 or something. I don't know, right? So we go and we line up, and nobody's in the line. Nobody's sitting there. No Santa, no Miss Claus, no Grinch, not even the Grinch. And so we asked the security. They're all like, "Oh, we don't know. We saw him here earlier. We don't know if he's coming back." And I'm thinking, in my head, honestly, genuinely, you know what? Yeah, sure. We were talking about the Canucks, all this other stuff. I went there as a Canucks fan, but I also went there. It's the Christmas game. You can kill two birds with one stone, right? You can go to a Canucks game, hopefully watch a good game. And on top of that, get your photos with Santa. You don't have to wait in line at the mall. You don't have to pay extra. You got it all done. And we've done it 2 years in a row, man. So we go for this third year, and we couldn't even find Santa. So that was a piss off. I was like, come on, you guys. Anyways, I also asked fans how they felt about the direction of the team, all this kind of stuff too. And you gave me a really good question to ask about, ownership. And I would say, 50-50 fans were saying tank and let's try and get better.
Yep.
So you gotta love the ones that are committed like that. You gotta love them. You can't hate them.
Yeah,
I understand. They're at the game. They want to invest their money in. They invested money into this. They got to make sure it goes well. And the other half were saying, yeah, it's time to tank. But yeah, man, I don't know. I asked also people if Quinn Hughes gets traded. I said, I hate to ask this question. Begsby said, Raj, you got to ask about Quinn Hughes. I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk about Hughes. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. We all say the media is the reason that it's a problem, blah, blah, blah. Clearly it wasn't, I'm not saying that. I knew that wasn't true, but I didn't want to be that person. I'm like, fine. So I asked, would this be the lowest point in Canucks history? Should we lose Quinn?
Yeah.
And I thought everyone would say yes. I thought the younger people would all say yes. They said that 2011 was lower than if Hughes is gone. So that gives you some positive. This isn't the lowest it could be.
Yeah. No, honestly, dude, it's going to get better. Like, it's because it was already so bad. Like, that's like, as a sports fan, it's yeah, like Quinn Hughes is a sexy player and he's fun to watch, but it's pretty obvious, like, whatever he was doing in the room and even on the ice, it didn't equate to like winning hockey, right? So I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying it's gonna get better. Like, it was so bad here over the last, like, me and you were blessed. I mean, we just talked about the 03 Canucks team that faced the Minnesota Wild. I feel as if that's when we started watching hockey, like way back in 01, 02, 03. We had a like almost a 10-year run there where we probably missed the playoffs two times, maybe three times, right? And now we're going on like 7 years of Quinn Hughes where we only made the playoffs twice. And one of those years was a fake bubble season. Like, we're obviously going to collapse that year, knowing that this team can't handle any resiliency and any type of controversy. All in all, though, like, where do you stand on all this? Like, how do you feel about Quinn Hughes? Because I feel like he got you back in the game, like, as a full-time Canucks fan too. Like, he's such an unbelievable player to watch. And now he's gone. So just emotionally speaking, like, how do you feel, man?
Numb right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I was thinking about it all day today, man. I was like, damn, it's really going to be happening. It's going to be before the trade deadline. You said it best.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and Begsy both said, hey, it makes sense that he's gone before the deadline. That's, you could do a deal at the draft, but you want to give somebody 2 playoff runs with you. So I was like, oh, it's going to happen before the deadline. Like, I was in denial until this morning.
Mm-hmm.
After talking to the fans yesterday, seeing how it's going, it's like, okay. And yeah, I don't know. I don't feel good about it. I guess I'm a person that likes change. So a part of me is excited. Okay, what's Rutherford Alvin going to do right now next? That's not trading a draft pick away, but instead acquiring one or doing something like that. But Canuck Clay asked me something yesterday. I saw Canuck Clay, shout out to him, legend as well.
Awesome.
He said to me, Raj, you're asking me about a rebuild, tanking for a rebuild. He's like, are you comfortable with the next 3 years of just nothing happening in with the Canucks? And that's when I was like, that hurts. Do you think you'd be ready for 3 years of the Canucks, just continuously going through this tanking process? You'd be okay with it right now?
100%, because we've done it without even trying. Like, the fans want a direction. No, like, honestly, we've done that. We've done that since 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
But this team like signals, and they also strategically plan around it not being the case, but it always happens. And that's why we're not like the best organizations, whether it be in sports or like a Bottle Depot. Like, you want to be proactive. This team isn't sucking because they're being proactive and they're planning towards their future. They're planning towards like next January, or they're planning towards next year. And this team's one of the worst teams, not only in the last 55 years, but specifically in the last like 10. Like, they're just a poorly run organization, especially when it comes to the results. And they weren't even trying to get there. And now, like, I wonder if they are going to double down on the rebuild, because to me, I feel as if they really like this trade because they really liked Marco Rossi. They really like the fact that, he's a second line center. He can help them win now. And we heard the reports earlier this week that some people in the Canucks organization at the top were scared about the ticket sales in January. So they want to compete. So I don't know. Like, let's see if this team can like win a couple games in a mid NHL and, ultimately be a better team than they already been. And maybe that would, like, again, appease Francesco Aquilini, like, with this team being mid. It's startling. It's confusing, but Raj, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I think about it today, and I'm like, when Marco Rossi comes back in this lineup, this team may be a bit better. Like,
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, they may be a bit better. And to be honest, I think they may be a bit, and I don't want this specifically, but I also think that they may be a little bit better because the noise is out. Quinn Hughes is gone. And Quinn Hughes, I don't care what you say, man. The way this guy was moving and the way this guy was like, that guy was being toxic in that room. Like, you can't even praise the young, like, you can't even just like say, you're proud of the boys and we're just focused on winning. The NHL, St. Louis did it last year. Like, I just want to win as a Canuck. And if you have young guys in the room, you don't want Tom Melander around that. You don't want Braden Coots around that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't. Like, that's That's a weird country club atmosphere. You're teaching those guys that if you're a really good player and your team sucks, that's not on you. That's not on you. And you can check out and just think about yourself. I don't like that.
I also, the thing that also sucks is I definitely want to say, like you mentioned it last night too, like the way Hughes was talking in the interviews, the way he was doing all this stuff. It's like, damn, this guy is so not into it, which I have two theories. It could be that he actually just was at that point, or he was kind of like told, hey, we know you don't want to be here. You're going to be traded. Don't tell the public anything else. So I don't know, if which perspective it was coming from, but it was shitty to see how he was just so over it, right? And I'm like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
I lost respect for him there.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I don't feel good talking this low about one of my favorite. It's interesting to like be 32 and be like, oh, he's one of my favorite players of all time. But seriously, like I appreciate his effort on the ice. This guy battled his ass off. He tried his ass off. He played through injuries. Like, to be honest, you could argue that he did the most. But when you wear the captaincy, I don't give a puck. It's away from the game that probably matters just a little bit more, for real.
Yeah.
And the way this guy conducted himself, it felt like it just started to feel like a little diva energy. And he was just thinking about himself. And end of the day, we live in 2025. Everyone likes to think about themselves, right? I swear on my life, that's just that happens with the self-help dream, right? Think about yourself. How are you gonna help others if you can't help yourself? You're the captain. You're the captain, and you moved like that. And that, to me, that signaled like a red flag. And just get him out of here, because I don't want Tom Melander around that. I'm sorry that I'm thinking about Tom Melander more than Quinn Hughes, just based on the options we had to make our team better, and how it was pretty obvious that with Foot and with our roster, we're not going to make the playoffs anyways. He's going to move on the way he's moving. Just get him out of here, because I don't want DPD around that. I don't want Tom Melander around that. Mm-hmm. That's whack. That's, the best teams are teams. That's the truth. But when your captain is like, with 50 games left, he was doing this with 55 games left, moving like this. That's crazy. I've watched sports since 2001, watched a bunch of Packers, watched a bunch of Canucks teams, seen a lot of documentaries. Dude, one of the worst captains. That's what it started to feel like. Like this, you can't even hide it on your face for the benefit of those guys in the room. For real. Quinn Hughes is going to learn from this experience. He's still so young. He's 26. Mm-hmm. I made this point yesterday. This is a hard place to learn how to be a leader. If you don't have it instinctually, like if you don't have it within you to be a captain, it's hard to learn on the fly, especially in a Canadian market when the team sucks. But one thing I will say is I think Tom Melander has a little bit of that. I also think Braden Coots has a little bit of like the instinctual the natural ability to be a leader on and off the ice. And I'm just happy again that this guy's out of here, and like those guys don't have to be around that energy. I know that's some crazy shit to say, because Quinn Hughes is that damn good, and I'd rather have Quinn Hughes than that package. Individually speaking, I'd rather have Quinn Hughes than Braden Coots and Tom Melander, to be honest, as well. But the writing was on the wall, and I just saw the way this was going. He didn't want to stay. I'm not going to feel bad for him. The way he moved too.
He wanted out.
He wanted out. So I'm not a Quinn Hughes fan. I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan.
100%. And I'm a Canadian too. I was thinking the Olympics are on the corner. It's easier to cheer from a car now. Before it hurt me to cheer from a car before. It won't hurt anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So last question to you before we get out of here is we're at the 50-minute mark. Actually, two questions. You're gonna have to answer if you're gonna renew your season tickets. I don't know if you're scared of Francesco Aquilini watching this program and knowing where you live. Cue the Italian music. And B, like, what are they gonna do with Pettersson now? Like, isn't it crazy how he's the remaining guy on? If you look at the Oilers series back in 2024, like. He's the one that stuck around. He's the last one. And I don't think he's going anywhere. Like, if you're trading for Marco Rossi, you're not trading Elias Pettersson.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. In terms of season ticket holder, at this moment, I'm not saying I'm going to not renew for sure with confidence. I don't know. The emotional attachment's there, but we'll see. Right now, I can't say no. But... I'm an idiot, probably. And secondly, Pettersson, yeah. I mean, he's here. It is what it is. It sucks because I think we're all aware. I mean, he's a good player. He's a good player. He still has done good things. I mean, his salary is going to be looked at as not that bad in a couple of years. So, hey, having him, I'm not complaining. I was never his biggest fan. Not that I didn't like him, but man, I loved Hughes. So thanks for having me on, Kyle. Locked On Canucks, huge fan. Love listening to you guys. So much love and stay positive tonight. Sleep well, okay?
Yep, I'm gonna hang out with actually my girlfriend's busy, so yeah. Anyways, thanks, Raj. Okay, so Locked On, the podcast network, they're not the biggest fan of like these long shows. We're already at the 50-minute mark, but we did just trade the greatest Canuck of all time. So let's go read some comments. Oh man, we got to read some comments. I can't just like leave you guys stranded like that. That is just not. Again, I'm not like Francesco Aquilini, right? It's not about the business. It's about this right here, okay? Caden saying maybe Pettersson will start performing without Hughes. I don't know if that's the truth. I think he was taking the next step. Like Pettersson was slowly making his way back to form, whatever that is. I don't know. I think it's going to be borderline impossible for him to get to like 90 to 100 points without one of the best players by your side. When he did it back then, he had Miller on the power play and also Quinn Hughes. So he probably won't get there. But a lot of like what was holding Pettersson back is like the individual aspect of his game. And again, that doesn't really have a lot to do with his teammates, IMO. And I guess like we got to do this because again, I'm not a Quinn Hughes fan tonight. I'm a Canucks fan. And there was a time not that long ago where it was Quinn Hughes versus Elias Pettersson as far as who is more important, who's the captain, who's the best player. So there's still that 1% chance, right? The 1% chance, 1% chance. Okay. That, Elias Pettersson does come out a better player. That's crazy, but manifestation, baby. This comment from my Fijian brother, Too Short, okay, saying the greatest Canuck of all time is Henrik Sedin. Thank you very much, and I'm actually going to stop saying Quinn Hughes is the greatest Canuck of all time. Okay? Henrik Sedin was the greatest Canuck of all time. For real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go out the way Quinn Hughes went out. I wonder who gave him that advice. Like, I don't think Rutherford and Alvin were like, yo, by the way, make sure you don't tell the city you're staying. What, they thought this route was better? Like, Quinn Hughes doesn't have like the PR skills and like the charismatic nature to like dance around the truth. Like, he should have just kept telling the fan base and his teammates in front of the media that, he just wants to win and stay in Vancouver. It was, end of the day, like, so our fans are smart enough to connect the dots. The team sucks. The guy has a year and a half left on his contract. Rutherford talked about him wanting to play with his brothers 6-7 months ago. He was gone. We would have swallowed it, but like the way they managed his departure, again, just leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. For real. Comments. 27 Dan saying, bring back the West Coast Express, please. They showed more heart than these bums. And Kyle Levette saying, one love, I'm out. Let's go back to talking about this. They showed more heart than these bums, the older versions of the Vancouver Canucks. And now moving forward, just bring in people who want to be here. And on top of that, like, actually, that's like the easy thing to say. Bring in people that care about winning more than anything else and are going to be accountable for their losses and not going to blame the city or the media or the team, right? Please, can you do that? But bring people who are, again, not going to feel sorry for themselves when they're 13, 7, whatever the record is, 11, 17, and 1, right? And like, you're like, oh, our team sucks. It's hard to play in this city. The media's crazy. I'm just going to feel sorry for myself and not be locked in. Don't bring any of those guys in. I want a guy in that room that when the team is 11, 17, and 3 or whatever, can look around the league, do a standings check, and be like, you know what? We still have a chance because the NHL is so mid right now. And, oh, you know what? If the Islanders are doing so well this year, we could turn it around. If this team can win like 7 straight games or something like that, we could win 7 straight games. Like, I just want those guys to have that belief no matter what. On top of people who are proud to be in the city and wear that jersey. I just want dogs. And I thought Quinn Hughes was one of those dogs. I thought Pettersson was one of those dogs too. Maybe JT Miller kind of, made all these guys a bit more emotional than they had to be, and it's hard to be emotional and go through the noise. Like, you want people to stay stoic and also just be grateful for the position they're in, and ultimately, if put in a leadership position and given the task to like speak for the team and create the narrative for the team, like, do your best to be positive. As Too Short is saying, Hughes and company had that chihuahua in them. I'm kind of scared of chihuahuas, to be honest. For real. Anyways, 27 Dan saying, a long-time listener and first-time comment. Here's a shout-out. I guess I gotta go. One love to our fans from Latvia, too, saying 4 a.m. reacting to this trade. Awesome. I wish we had more analysis about the players that are Canucks now, but again, you know the deal. We got to wait for Trevor Beggs to do that. This was the emotional hour, and it's the end of an era. But Canucks fans, just know that it was never really good with Quinn Hughes here or JT Miller here, outside of 1 year and outside the bubble. So I don't know, just like I'm not gonna have a tough time sleeping when we've only made the playoffs 2 out of those like 7 years, right? I just want people to believe that it does get better than this. And that does seem kind of impossible without Quinn Hughes, but eventually it's just got to get better. Zane Buium, come on. But what's his name? Zeev Buium? Marco Rossi. This team was like, we don't want to trade Ratu and Shelovs and Braden Coots. Plays for the Seattle Thunderbirds or whatever. We can't do that. But if you want Quinn Hughes, then we can do it. Marco Rossi, the last time he did this, we were so coveted about it, like I don't want to say an average NHL player, but just like one of those middle guys was all over Ekman Larson. Big Ticket KG saying, congrats on fleecing us. I guess you're a Minnesota fan. We fleeced you? Oh, wow. Look at this comment. I guess we're not ending the show. Saying as a Minnesota Mouth fan, you fleeced us. I feel like you're saying that you really are a big fan of Zeev Buium, right? And maybe Marco Rossi. Like, can you give us one more comment on Marco Rossi? You're saying we fleeced you. Thank you so much. I wish I could hug you. I'm gonna say you didn't fleece us, but you got such an incredible talent. And again, the Canucks have sucked for so long. Like a lot of teams and fan bases aren't like going out of their way to watch the Canucks. I just feel that way. We play on the West Coast too. So maybe you just see like the Quinn Hughes highlights and you're like, oh yeah, he's such a sick player, but just wait till you watch him game after game after game after game. Okay. For real. Anyways, my name's Kyle Bowen. I'm out of here. An hour-long episode. Quinn Hughes is gone. Can I take a moment to say I love you guys for real? Like, it feels like I'm more in love with you guys than ever, like the fan base of this show, because we need each other, man. We need each other. And I promise you, I swear on my life, here at the Don't Doge Art Lab, we do everything for the West Coast and our neighbors. Same here at Locked On Canucks. Look, we went an hour today, okay? Boss don't like that, but I think he does because he cares about the fans. We love you guys, and we'll get back to the mountaintop eventually. And I just want you to know we're gonna climb up that mountain together, for real. One love to all y'all. Peace.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.